Social media. Yes, Twitter, Facebook, and the rest. Still, I think, relatively new. They seem to be ever evolving and changing. And no one, I don't believe, has yet fully figured out all the best practices. And with dating, man, you can really get into some trouble. Stephanie Safran runs the personal introduction service, Stef and the City, stefandthecity.com. She's been a specialist in romance since she was, I always love to say this as part of your intro, a contestant coordinator on the old dating game.
Yes, I did.
Sorry,
do that.
It's just cool. For the rest of your life, people are going to say, what was that like? Are they all dorks?
Well, a lot of people were very, you'd be surprised at how many good-looking people there are in Los Angeles that can't talk. That was the biggest surprise, I think. And then some of the people that you thought, were very quiet, all of a sudden in their interviews, they
light
not so
up.
quiet. They lit up.
You got to be able to talk to get somebody to be interested in you. With these non-communicating males, as we've been talking about in the show this morning, I don't know how sometimes they ever get a date. So what not to do after that first terrific date you've had?
Well, don't share all the little details on Facebook or Twitter. In this case,
you want to.
Well, like today, obviously, I shared on Facebook and Twitter that I'm here, but they don't need to know every part of my day. If I'm going to go to the Gold Coast Art Fair, if I'm going to go to the beach, whatever I'm going to do today, I don't need to share every detail because you don't need to, let somebody know if you don't need to let somebody know what you're doing from here to here to here. So do they have a chance to call you? Or, should they meet you at this bar? It's just not, it's not appropriate.
With first dates, though, it's kind of interesting because people are gabby. And if the heart is all aflutter, you want to talk about it. Girls want to talk with their girlfriends. And I think they look at Facebook and Twitter as sort of extensions of their immediate close relationships. And that's just how they communicate that way.
Their closest 600 acquaintances. Well, what I think you need to do is pick and choose who your closest girlfriends are and then, share that way with them appropriately. Either call them on the phone or text them. But the Foursquare, all these types of programs that you check in where you're going, if you're dating somebody and you've connected and they see that you're sharing everything, it's like being a paparazzi. Well,
also, if the other party picks up on it and says certain things, and you say certain things that maybe you don't want that person to know, and they find out, because you've probably friended them on Facebook by this point.
Then you're putting yourself in that position where they're like, well, what are they going to talk about with us? Are they going to tweet and tell every detail?
Is she or he going to put everything out there? How about photographs? Is there a danger in how you handle those too?
Well, you don't want to have photographs of all your past relationships.
Oh, yeah.
Because if you have all your past relationships with everybody you've ever dated, then again, you're feeling like you're on a paparazzi magazine where everyone can, pull everything up from the past and you're going to see everything. And it just feels kind of icky because you want to feel that you're special. But if everybody before you, every single thing has been there's a picture and you can go back and the internet is in ink. So
it's funny because you need to go back and review some of your websites, your Facebook pages, because there's stuff on there that's not up to date. I just stumbled on that the other day. It had me doing Bill Moller. What was my old show here on WGN years ago? It was The Money Show. And that was what my profile said. I don't do that show anymore. I'd forgotten. And there were some other things, too. So you need to refresh that stuff, and that means clearing out some of the old relationships. It used to be that you'd get the tattoo with the girl's name on it. Now it's the photograph.
Well, also think about before you used to have the picture albums and the picture frames around your house. If you have it around your house, you're not going to have a new relationship and have them see, your exes all over your house. It's the same thing, only the internet, it's so much easier and quicker to put it up there.
I had just mentioned that you probably, around the first date, have already friended each other. Is that par for the course or not?
I think some people do it, and I think it depends on the age group. I think the younger set definitely do it because that seems to be totally normal. The older set seems to wait a little bit longer. When I say older, I'm saying over 30. But I think if you do friend them, you don't need to friend their entire family and all their friends Because what if you haven't met them? It's just it's very weird to have.
Yeah,
that
you're
type
pushing
of
it
thing.
a little fast, and it can get kind of awkward if you're suddenly coming on and being friendly with people, and they don't even know you. Her friends don't know that she is dating you, and here you are suddenly contacting them out of the blue.
Well, I've even had it where friends of mine have friended my siblings, and they don't really know them. It's very weird. So for people to assume that everybody you meet, you should be connecting, you should really wait, because again, it's like trying to come over to somebody's house and meet their parents before they're ready for you to do it.
Speaking of the Facebook, what about the status? If you're single and you're going out with somebody and you immediately change it to, what is the choice there involved?
You can. Some people are smart and they choose never to update their status on the relationship. It's kind of like they keep the no comment. But some people can say in a relationship, but you can connect to that person. What if you go and put in a relationship and the person that you actually have to connect with, it says to in a relationship with Bill Moller, they have to accept. If they don't accept, then you really know
there's
that
a sign there.
There's a sign there.
Your first date may be your last date.
Well, I think people want to feel that things get talked about more naturally than instantly putting it on to Facebook or other means of social media. But on the same forefront, once you're in a relationship, don't go back and then when you're in a fight, go back and just break up off of Facebook and take it off, and then 5 minutes later you're back in a relationship. I mean, you can have that 16-year-old type of mentality, but the thing is, you have a huge audience. It's not just your 10 friends anymore. And who wants that at the water cooler at work, where people are saying, about you?
Yeah, I saw that you broke up suddenly with so and so, and maybe
2
you
hours
got
later,
back,
you're back
together.
together.
Yeah. I don't know that I'd be comfortable going out with somebody who is too much into all of this. I certainly would not want the relationship to be talked about, blogged about, tweeted about, or Facebook updated about, unless I really got to know that person over time. Are most people that way, do you think?
I think the younger people who are used to this have an instantaneous thought. I think some other people, depending on their past experiences, I think people tend to get smarter as they've had something happen to them and they realize, ooh, this isn't a good idea. So I think some people are very into Foursquaring, which is a program that tells you exactly where they're checking in. I think it depends on the person, but I do think that the 20-somethings seem to find this more normal, and the 30-somethings and 40-somethings are kind of like, well, this has to be more serious before I'm going to go to these levels and put up pictures and put up status updates.
StefandtheCity.com, right?
That's correct.
And it's not in the city. It's Stef and the City.
Absolutely.
Stephanie, thank you so much.
Thanks for having me.
So much.